Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's Yin practice. For props for today, please have a strap or something strap-like. You could maybe use a belt or maybe a strap from a suitcase or something like that if you don't have one. And then for the other two, you don't necessarily need these, but they will likely be helpful for one of the later poses, either a bolster or some kind of a plump pillow, maybe a hard block. And for today, we'll get started in child's pose. Option if you are using a bolster is to take the child's pose on the bolster so you can come to straddle it. You can take the knees as far apart as you like or keep them relatively close together. And then just make sure that the bolster is supporting at least your pelvis and maybe part of the chest depending on your proportions. And then from here, coming into your shape, making sure that the head feels adequately supported, making sure that the knees are all comfortable. If you want to add some padding or anything like that, you go for it. And then before you settle, just give yourself a little movement here. Rock the hips, maybe rock the head side to side. And block for the forehead if it needs some support. And then any arm expressions. So if you like to have the arms extended forward, then go for it. If you want them by your sides or elbows bent, then go for that. As you're ready, find your stillness here. And start to check in with the body, with the breath. Notice if the mind has started to wander. And see if you can guide it back to the body, back to the breath. As you feel ready to move again, bring the hands down to the floor and slowly walk yourself upright. And we'll pause in a kneeling position so you can still keep the bolster if that's working for you. And take a moment to lengthen the spine here. Awesome. And then as you feel ready, you can slide off. We'll come to lying down on the back. Just make sure you have your strap nearby and the other props you can move out of the way for now. Once you do touch down, collect your knees into your chest and just like child's pose, but now on the back, give yourself a gentle rock here. Awesome. And then as you're ready, you can lower the right foot down, keep the left knee up, And then find your strap here and we'll loop it around the left foot. Extending the left leg up towards the ceiling, give yourself enough slack that the shoulders can stay grounded to the floor. And then from here, just check in for a moment, check in to see what the back of the leg feels like, the knee. Feel free to modify if you need to. And just let the weight of the arms bring the toes a little bit closer towards the shin, so a slight flexion through the foot. And then if it's okay to close down the eyes, go for it. Always the option to bend the knee if you need to soften the sensation. If you wanted a little more sensation, then maybe the leg comes a little closer towards the chest. Awesome. As you're ready, collect both ends of the strap into the right hand now, and then take the left hand and just place it on the left hip to help keep it in place. And from here, not quite a twist, you can still keep the right knee bent, but take the left foot over to the right just enough until you get that sensation through the outside of the leg, that stretch for the IT band. And then check in here, sometimes having a little more slack so you can still rest the elbow to the floor, almost like a kickstand might make the shape a little more comfortable. And then keeping the pelvis nice and heavy, breathe into whatever you're feeling here. You can reach over with the left hand and gently guide the left leg back to center. And then keep the straps in the left hand. We'll open the left leg out to the left. And from here, see how you want to use the right leg maybe as a counterweight. You can wing the right knee out towards the right. You could even extend the leg down the mat, see how it feels. Maybe right arm out to the right as well. And then slowly let the left leg come down towards the left. The same option to use that left elbow as a kickstand if that's accessible for you. And then notice where you're feeling the stretch here. Notice to make sure that it's a pain-free expression. Settle in. You can reach over with the right hand and maybe help that leg back to center. If you need to roll out and come back, then that's fine. And then from here, final stretch will be to scoot the hips over to the left a few inches, extend that right leg long down the mat, and now with a strap in the right hand, and coming into your twist, take the right foot all the way over to the right hand side. And again, you might land with a kickstand with a hand, maybe the foot can come to the floor, and if you have your bolster or block nearby, you might also choose to use one of those to support the foot. And left arm out towards the left, or you could take it up to the floor overhead if you want a little more side body stretch. And to exit, see how it feels. Maybe you want to roll onto that right hand side and then make your way to a fetal position for a few breaths. You can support the head on the bicep, or if you have a prop nearby, just pause here. As you feel ready to, making your way back onto your back, you can bring your strap with you. And we'll set up for the second side here. So take the strap around the right foot now. You can keep the left knee bent to begin with. Extending the right leg up towards the ceiling, find an appropriate bend to the knee if you need one there. Shoulders stay grounded to the floor, one end of the strap in each hand. Maybe a slight flexion of the foot, curling the toes towards the shin. Letting the arms be really heavy here and breathing into whatever you're feeling. And from here, taking both ends of the strap into the left hand now. Right hand to that right hip. And keeping the pelvis grounded evenly on both sides, start to take the right foot just a little bit over towards the left, looking for that sensation to the outside of the left leg. And then pause when you find it. You can even use that the other leg, the left leg, a little bit to prop up the right leg if you feel like you're losing that connection or if the hip is lifting up.
You can reach over with the right hand now, grab the strap, and slowly bring the leg back up to center. We're going to let the right leg open towards the right, but first just make sure you have space and see what works best with the left leg. If you want to wing the knee out a little bit, where does the left arm want to be? And then from here, start to open that right leg, open towards the right, any amount. Maybe the elbow catches the floor for more support. And reaching over with that left hand and catching the strap as best you can, lifting the leg back up to center. And then from here, preparing for your twist. So you can scoot the hips over to the right a few inches. You can extend the left leg long. And with the strap in the left hand, you can start to take the leg across the body, lowering the foot, maybe down towards the floor, maybe onto a prop, and check in to see what the right arm needs here, if either shoulder needs a little support or anywhere else in the body. And taking the right arm over towards the left, and releasing the right foot, making your way to a fetal position on that left hand side, and pausing for a few breaths when you arrive. And then with the support of the hands coming up towards a seat this time, and take your time to arrive. And then when you're ready, we'll set up for a counter pose for all of that. So just locate your props for a moment. We're going to set up hero pose. And for hero pose, it's a slight internal rotation of the legs, so you might imagine that the knees are closer together than the heels. And then also the option to recline here. So just to start off, if you're using a bolster, you can place it lengthwise on the mat. And then I like to have a hard block nearby as well. You can either use this to change the kind of the pitch of the where the spine is going to rest if you want it to be more reclined or less. You could also use it in case you're a little bit taller than whatever pillow you're using if you want more support for the head. And then you can come to sit to the edge of your prop here. So just enough to support the pelvis a little bit, and then check in. Maybe you want to take the feet a little further apart. Maybe the shape doesn't work for you. You could also take the reverse. So that's a saddle pose, in which case the knees are wider than the feet. So take a moment to find the version of the shape that works best for you, and then you don't have to come back at all. You can stay upright the whole time, maybe hands somewhere on the body. You can close down the eyes. If you do want to explore the back bend, then just make sure for starters that your bum is touching the bolster, because if it's already hovering here, then you'll be in a really deep back bend when you come back. And then from here, maybe you're coming onto the hands behind you. This might feel like plenty. You could also spend maybe 5 breaths in each variation, coming in more slowly if you need to. Maybe there's the option to lower one elbow and then the other down to the floor. And again, check in here. Is the pelvis lifted? Is the back feeling a little crunchy? Is there pain somewhere in the body? You can pause, you can exit. And the final option, if you have space to do so, is to bring the rest of the spine down onto your prop. Maybe the block nearby to support the head. And does this shape feel sustainable if you're in it? If it feels like you're having to hold your breath, or it feels really tense in the body, then it may not serve the purpose, in which case you might want to back out a little bit. If you have a few extra pillows and you want to put a second pillow on top of your bolster, that might be a nice option too. And find a comfortable place for the hands wherever you're resting, and settle in here. Always staying in that pain-free expression. If you are feeling something sharp, something electric, that may be your body letting you know to come out of the pose. And staying here a little while longer, but listen to your body. If it's letting you know to come out sooner, then you're welcome to. Now, there's no rush to exit as well. If you'd like to spend a little more time here, then please do. When the time comes to come out, then see what way to exit feels best for you. You can come out the exact same way we came in. You may also have the option to release one leg out from under you. And don't worry, you can do that in stages. And then maybe you can release the other leg out from under you. If you're comfortable here, feel free to pause for a moment. Otherwise, you can roll off to one side and then just push all your props out of the way and come to lying flat on the back. And let the spine be tall. If you want to rest the knees in together or butterfly the legs or something like that, then go for it. Let's just take a few breaths here. Awesome. And then when you're ready, we'll take a counter stretch from that as well. So take the feet nice and far apart, and then lower both your knees down towards the right hand side. Now, a couple of breaths here. If you like to take the right ankle over the left knee, then go for it. Awesome. And then both feet back to the floor, lifting knees up to center. And with your feet wide, lower the knees down towards the left hand side. Now, option as well, left ankle over the right knee if you did so on the first side. And then releasing left foot back to the floor and windshield wiper the knees side to side a couple of times. Awesome. From here, we'll set up a rest pose. I'm going to take the bolster underneath the knees and come to a Shavasana-like shape. So if that feels like a nice rest shape for you, then go for it. If your body's asking for something else, then rest wherever you'd feel the most comfortable, the most settled. And find the arm expression that feels best here. Add any layers, add any props. And take a moment to let yourself settle in. And then find your stillness. And slowly deepen the breath to wake up the body. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. And rock the head side to side. As you feel ready, roll onto one side wherever you have the most room. Maybe pausing here for a breath or two. And with the support of the hands, coming up to find any comfortable seated position. And using any of the props you have around for support. And settle the hips, lengthen the spine. And then take a moment, take a scan through the body from the feet to the head. Just notice.
perhaps collecting the hands at the heart, bowing the chin to the chest. Thank you for sharing your breath and your practice today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Yin practice today. My name is Nicholas. If you have any questions, please reach out and enjoy your evening.